This is Chapter 6, and in this first assignment, we'll be setting up a petty cash fund. This is similar to your homework. So the first thing we do is prepare a company check for $400 to establish the fund. And as we talked about in class, this goes to petty cash, and it comes out of cash, which typically, like I said, is a checking account. And then the second journal entry, we replenish the fund for the expenditures made since May 1st, and those were given to us up here. So we had janitorial expense of $124.80. We had miscellaneous expense of $101.88. We had postage expense of $69.60. Advertising, where we posted in the local newspaper $91.44. And then it tells us that we had $30.68 remaining. So now what we have to do is see if we are over or under on our cash. So we started with $400. We spent $124.80. We spent $101.88, $69.60, $91.44. And so it appears that we are, let me try that again. 400 minus 124.80 minus 101.88 minus 69.60 minus 91.44. So we should have 12.28, but we have 30.68. So we are cash over of 18.40. Not real sure how that happened, but it appears that we are over 18.40. I'd actually go here. And so to replenish our fund, we would write a check. And the way you know how to replenish the fund is we look, there's 30.68 left in there, and we need it to be 400. And so we write a check for 369.32. And these should balance. So I'm going to check my work real fast because that doesn't make sense, but that's what they're talking about. Somehow somebody put too much money in there, and that's a good thing, I guess. Okay, so then go back to the worksheet. We prepared a company check to increase the fund, and so we're going to increase from 400 to 600. That comes out of cash. Then we prepared a company check to replenish from these expenses, and so we had postage of $64.48. We had mileage, $51.33, and we had merchandise inventory because we're delivering merchandise to a customer, $53. Actually, hold on, we're delivering to the customer. Let's see if there's a transportation. No. Delivery expense. Since we're delivering and not receiving, I think that should be delivery expense. So we'll see. And then to see if we're over or short, we look at how much was in there. There was $401.19 plus the $64.48 plus the $51.33 plus the $53, $570, and we should have had $600, so we're $30 short. And then to replenish, and I just calculated that and probably don't have it anymore, but it would be those added together. And so to replenish, it would be the 600 minus the 401.19 that's left in there, or 198.81. And so you can check to make sure that your debits and credits balance this way, or you can check my work, either one. And they balance, so we should be good there. And then finally, the company decides So the fund's too large and they want to reduce the fund, and so we would put that back into cash, $50, and take it out of petty cash. And check our work, make sure I understand what the book is asking for. So we're good. Okay, so then the next problem we want to look at is a bank reconciliation. And as we did in class, we start with the bank statement balance, which is given to us. The bank statement balance, let's see. July bank statement was $27,066. We start with that here. Our book balance, what we have in QuickBooks or in Excel or in our paper register, but our book balance is the cash account has $25,860 debit. And so remember, we start by adding our outstanding checks, and it tells us, we've got this information, it tells us that check 3031, 3040 were outstanding on the June bank reconciliation. Check 3040 is listed with July, but check 3031 is not. So 3031 is still outstanding. That's for $1,070. And then it tells us that also check 3065 and 3069 are outstanding. So 3065 is it not going to let me? $3065 is $311. Oh, I'm sorry, I've got this backwards. $3031 goes down here. I wonder why they weren't giving me enough room. And $3065, $311. This is our deposits. Got ahead of myself. Okay, and then that one was for $1838. That was check number 3069. Okay, so we took care of that. In comparing the canceled checks to the bank next to it with the entries, it's found that check number 3056 for July rent expense was correctly written and drawn for $1240, but was erroneously entered in the accounting records at $1230. And so the error was on the book side, so we have to fix that. And so in our accounting records, we recorded $1230, but it should have been $1240. So we need to deduct an additional $10 for the error. And that was check number 3056, and so we'll deduct $10 for that. In the July bank statement shows the bank collected $7,000 cash on a non-interest-bearing note for branch, deducted $35 collection expense, and credited the remainder to its account. Branch has not recorded in their statements, in their book of balance, and so we need to add that. Proceeds less the collection charge would be $6,935. I think I did that right. No, $6,965. Okay, the bank statement shows an $805 charge for a $795 NSF check plus a $10 NSF charge. The check had been received from a customer, Evan Shaw. Branch has not yet recorded this, and so what that's telling us is that we made a deposit and the check did not clear. So now that money is no longer in our account. So we have to deduct that NSF check for $795. And then we have to deduct that NSF check charge. And it may not show us separately. So what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and add those together here. $805. The July statement shows an $11 bank service charge that has not been recorded, so we'll record that. It tells us that goes into miscellaneous expenses. The service charge is $11. And then finally, branch's July 31st daily cash receipts of $81.52 were in the bank, and so we have them in the books but not in the bank, so we need to add the deposit of $81.52. And then we balance $31.99, $31.99. So we reconciled that. Now the next thing we do is the journal entries. If you remember, those are the things that happen on the right side. So things that have not been recorded in the books before. So it asks us, I'm looking at all of these to see what they're looking for. Record the adjusting entry, if any, related to the July 31 cash balance. Then it asks the adjusting entry related to any outstanding checks. There is no entry there. Check 3056, we need to add 3056 was the error, I believe. Yes, so we need to add $10 to rent expense. Deduct that from cash. And then non-interest bearing notes. So yes, we do need to show that we received that. So we had cash of $69.65, and we had a decrease in our notes receivable. And so we've got to go back up here and look at that. It's $7,000 cash on non-interest bearing note. The July bank statement. Bank collected $7,000 cash on a non-interest bearing note for a branch. Okay, so they had the note. So notes receivable would decrease $7,000, and then they would show the $35 collection expense. Okay. Now, you see I didn't do all my debits and credits together. I don't know if it's going to take that or not. Let's try. No, it didn't like that, so we'll go back and do it the right way. So we'll make this collection expense 35 and make this a decrease in notes receivable of 7,000 and see if Connect Software likes that a little bit better. Okay, that's better. Debits first and then credits, which is good practice. As long as they balance, you're okay. Adjusting entry related to NSF check. And so what we do here is we add that back to accounts receivable, because when they paid us, we took it out of accounts receivable, but because it bounced, they still owe us that money. So $795 goes back into accounts receivable. We have an NSF charge. I don't think we have that option. Okay. Let's see what options we have here. NSF charge, bank service charge. Did they tell us to do miscellaneous? NSF charge of $805. Okay, NSF. Nope. Bank service charge. Nope. Service charge. Nope. Okay, let's see what they're looking for. I'll put it in miscellaneous. You should put that in bank service charges or in a separate account called NSF, and then we decrease cash by that amount. I'm going to see what it's looking for on that entry. Okay, they definitely did not like that. So NSF, we know the $795 goes back into accounts receivable, and we know that we've decreased cash by $805. So I'm not real sure what we're looking for here. Gotta love Connect Software. Let's go to the next one, and I'll come back to that. Bank service charges. Okay, let's see. I'm looking at all of our options for expense. I'm going to try miscellaneous since we don't have bank service charges and we don't have any kind of service charge really. I'm going to see, this may help you on your homework. So it lacks miscellaneous expense there. So why doesn't it like it here? Let's try this. Decreased cash, $7.95. And then we'll show the miscellaneous expense separately. See if it likes that. And if it doesn't like that, I'll go check the answer and see what it's looking for. Yeah, it does not like that at all. $9.75. So it's possible that they want us to pass that charge along to the customer. So let's try that. Okay, so that's what it's looking for. So what it's saying, what the book is saying, we got charged $10 NSF, which decreased our cash. But instead of us expensing that, we're going to add it to what Evan Shaw now owes us. So now Evan Shaw owes us $805 instead of $795. So I've put that back into accounts receivable. And that's definitely one way to do it in practice. You can do it that way. You can absorb the expense, whatever business practice is in place. I don't think they were real clear on that up here. So on your homework, now you know that's what you need to do. So good luck. Let me know if you have questions.